like to start out by saying we're excited about National Signing Day and Nana Onkenton signing with us. I think he's one of the more underrated kids I've ever recruited in my life. He's got a great support system. Got great people around him. He's just a fun kid to be around. Got a great jumper. It's all wet, which is the way you like it, and he's a superb athlete. So I really think we're fortunate to have Nana commit and stick with it. His recruiting picked up late, but we're able to. Coach Molinari did a great job, and his coaches Rob Rose and Quentin Garrison were, I think felt like this is a great opportunity for him too. So I think he's going to be one of those kids that kind of come out of nowhere and will really make an impact. So I'm happy about that, and I'm excited for our season. Sacramento State, returns 4 guys, Graves and Strings especially, and then Studeville and Hornsby are stars in their own role, do a lot of things, take charges, block shots, stuff like that, and the other guys can play for a lot of teams. So should be there's nothing easy on this schedule. Despite some of the pundits such as Jeff Goodman, I know his name, I know what he looks like, but says the best best schedules in the country. I think ours is certainly right up there. I'd put ours against anybody, and that's what we want. That standard of play. My job is to put out a schedule of that allows us an opportunity to make postseason, and then how we play. How we play enough winning basketball, the opportunity is there to make it. So with that, let's get started.
Tim, how difficult is it with this team to transition from all of fall camp, practicing against each other, not really scouting a whole lot, prepping for other teams, and now season's here, and it's go.
Well, what you don't want to do is get them thinking too much, and that's what you worry about. So these early preps, you try and keep your guys aggressive, keep them in a mindset of, do my job and not worry so much about what that other guy can do. Now, if he's a tremendous threat from 3, we'll know, listen, you got to tighten up. He's a shooter. But at the same time, 7 guys on the floor are going to be freshmen and sophomores, and I think we probably have 11 active scholarship guys, and Nick Fuller's hurt, so we're down to 10. And so 7 to 10 of those guys are kind of looking at you. 4 of them have very good experience, but the other 3, we're just bringing along as fast as we can.
What is Fuller's injury and how long?
It's a high ankle sprain, and those are the worst. Nick's broke his nose and missed 5 minutes of practice. And so, when I saw him go down in the open scrimmage, I knew it was, he usually kind of grimaces, and I look at it later and it's swollen up this big, and this one he couldn't even keep walking, and so I knew it was serious. So it's a high ankle sprain. It's kind of on the front part of it, so that ankle flexion and everything you do, walk, run, jump, is a real problem. But hopefully sometime next week we'll have him available.
When you kind of went back through from the exhibition, were there any lineups or combinations that you ran that kind of surprised you with how well they played together?
Well, as coach, you concentrate on the correction of errors, so much. You hope your lineups that you think can do well. I guess my question is going to be, okay, how does a traditional big lineup look, which could be harder earlier than later, matches up better for the Big Ten than it does against Sacramento State for sure. And what about a 3-guard lineup? If you went out and played any combination of Evan Turner, Anton Gill, Ty, and Glenn, and start those 3 guys. I think those are the most curious things I want to see. And then we need to see Jordy Chimunga play better. I thought he, was not in balance, was not ready. And I think he's one of those guys that's got his head swimming a little bit right now too. So it'll be good out there, give him some clarity. We had a good meeting yesterday, and just get him focused on the things he can do and should be doing, and don't worry about the other stuff.
How much is defending without fouling a point of emphasis for him? I know he struggled with that.
It's like that for the whole country, with the new rules. And, every year it's a new unbelievable points of emphasis. We've added a individual cylinder this year. I thought I was flipping Star Trek or something like that. Like, you know, is this guy gonna, like if we touch it, his cylinder, does he, you know, what was that where they stood there on the side and just disappeared? Remember that? That teleport thing? I think they're going to teleport away if we touch them too hard. My goodness.
So with that, it's not only have to be straight up, but you have to jump.
Well, there's different rules at different places. So, for instance, for the one rule for the big guys that's happened is the big guys get caught in the charge line a lot. And they would literally wall up, or, you know, what we call wall up, go straight up and draw a foul. But what the refs stopped calling as the year went on was if a guy left his feet and jumped straight up in verticality and that kid initiated confidence and then tried to shoot, that was a no call. If you stood in the charge line and got hit straight up, it's a foul because you're in the charge line. But if you jump, apparently the charge line doesn't go any higher than the paint it's on. So if you can just get high enough, you know, you're going to be okay.
You kind of laugh at some, you talk
Yes.
about verticality.
Yeah,
and
anything.
You just kind of sit back and go, good.
Well, when does it end? I mean, we're at a point right now where I love our rules committee. I love our game of basketball. But right now we're just, you know, this Freedom of Movement Act is like it's like it was written into the Constitution in there. I guess I got to go back and read Naismith's rules. I've got mine from 5th grade. Get a big lead and keep scoring if you can. That's a hell of a rule.
Do you get more nervous before season opener? And say,
You know, it's hard to say when I get more nervous. You know, I'm excited. I know that I only had like 1 cup of coffee today, and I'm jacked. So I think I'm ready. I mean, nervous is part of, you know, when you're kind of geeky like me. I mean, you can't help it. You'd like to say I'm excited, but not everybody buys it.
Started Jack at the 3 in the exhibition. Where is he at defensively in his development as far as playing that position?
Jack is aware, which is good. You know, it's one thing to go out there and play poor defense and not be aware of what's going on. Jack is an excellent communicator. He gets guys in their spots. So there's a lot of things he does well that although, you know, he's not the fleetest of foot, you know, people say, oh, well, you know, maybe he's a liability. He's not in a lot of ways because of his awareness. So he you know, there's some pros and cons to all of that. But one's got to outweigh the other. He's not going to play that spot. So.
Tim, the fans got a chance to see Isaiah the other night, but the fans don't always see the things that you see. After watching the film, what did you see from Isaiah in the exhibition?
Well, I thought he just played okay at best. Thought he had a much better practice on Friday. I'm sorry, what day was today? Is today Friday? I thought he had much better practice on Wednesday. And I think that he's just going to get better and better, you know, as he becomes more aware of what's going on. And as he understands how to play lower, quicker, more athletic, and all those things. He's got a lot of raw talent, and he's a great person. Like I say, he's actually like talking to an adult, which is really a bonus.
is it a deal where you have to pump the brakes with those guys and all how the exhibition went and say, it's not going to be this easy? You know?
No, I don't think any, you know, these guys have seen enough AAU basketball and stuff like that, you know, they know what's understood, and so we didn't really spend much time talking about it. You know, what we did is we put a whole bunch of numbers together so we could see where we're at when we combine the Iowa State scrimmage with the Chadron State game, which was, you know, more interesting. You know, so we could see what our defensive errors are, you know, how to eliminate losing, and I think that's, like I said, if you can just eliminate losing, some teams will beat themselves, right? So you can win a whole bunch of games if you just don't beat yourself, right? And then you got to go out once you've solved that part. Now we got a whole bunch of teams on our schedule where you have to find a way to win, and that's the exciting part about each team is kind of getting them incrementally understanding how to play basketball well.
That being said, your starting backcourt had 0 turnovers, 10 assists. 14
I would
points.
expect that every game. Jeez.
I guess how pleased were you with?
They played good. I thought they played well. Yeah. I thought they did a good job. Glenn and Ty. Didn't we talk about that in the post game? Okay. Sorry. They did, they did a nice job. They did what was expected against, Division II competition team. So I was happy about that. And I'm excited for them to get out and play 3 games in 7 days and keep doing the right thing because Sac State beat Arizona State last year in their opener. So, and return 4 of their, top 5 starters. And I think 9 guys that played last year, even the kid off the bench, Wu, and one other player, are in their steady rotation. My alma mater's here. I'm going to be all worked up about that one. They're bringing like a 737 charter plane down to enjoy the game. Not the team, just the fans. And then, as you look at, Louisiana Tech is really good. They're Conference USA team and team that won 20 whatever games last year. So there's a lot of, there's a lot to value on our schedule. It should be a great week of basketball.
I'm gonna ask you just a little bit more about Tuesday, and they are bringing a shuttle bus of some sort, or bus is down, and.
I thought they were bringing a plane.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
But they're gonna do tours with, I think, 'cause Darren Erskine
Yeah,
from North
yeah.
too, so there's like tours.
Well,
planned.
Ersty's a Jamestown guy, so they love that. I mean, I'm a South Dakota guy that just spent some time in North Dakota trying to help everybody out. And, but no, we have our old president of our college, Sister Thomas Welder, who is is a dear friend who's reached out to me as, when I was out and coaching, and we had conversations even when I was a young professional. And I mean, not often does the president of the college reach out to a student, and encourage them or talk to them about, what's going on. So I'm glad she's going to be here. My old coach's family is going to be here. Coach Al Borkey, his son, and some of his family are going to be here. I believe his wife. So it'll be really cool to see them. So I'm excited to have them back. I'm glad we can do it. And I hope people understand, we play as a regular season game. After talking to the NCAA committee, especially Mark Hollis at Michigan State, talking about playing a non-Division I. And it, quite frankly, makes a lot more sense to do that than play a team that might be over 250 or over 270 in the RPI. So you really you short yourself a game a little bit in terms of what the RPI is, but that gives you more value and strength when it comes to RPI, strength of schedule. So that's probably something we might see on a regular basis. And the reason why is when you are scheduling to be in the NCAA tournament, it makes sense. I did it the last 2 years, I believe, or at least the last year, by playing Omaha when I was at Colorado State. I don't remember the year before what we did for a regular season game. But it just, if you're going to play somebody who's way up there in the 300s especially, or even the 250s, it really drags you. One game can hurt you. So you don't want a whole bunch of games. Last year we had too many, but some of that was unintended because of the league, and some of that was unintended because of the scheduling stuff. So,
What can Mohammed bring to your scout team?
well, he's really athletic. He's just, he quickness wise, Mo competes with everybody on the team. Like he can compete in, like, if we just give like a rebounding drill or something that he doesn't have to, that's not something he has to learn because he's only been in practice a few days. He competes very well. He does well. So I think that athleticism, so he can maybe guard people and they can feel him. And then when he is open, he can make a shot, and so I like him. He's got a great story. He's a tremendous kid and been through a lot, and I'm really happy he's on our squad.
So when fans show up to the game on Sunday, unless they follow your preseason pretty closely, there's probably a lot of curiosity what this year's going to hold. And what would be your message to them as for what they can expect?
Well, there's a lot of exciting potential on this team. We've got great youth and just enough older guys to help us, that are, I think, good players that can help us, this team. I think every team we play is going to be an exciting game. I think that I really think this team can accomplish more than people dream of. So I anticipate a team that has a chance to make postseason play, and that'll be worth watching because the last one we had was, the 14 and 15 teams, and one of them was phenomenal, and the other one was, on the other side of the spectrum. So hopefully we can end up more on the phenomenal side.
Thanks for Coach.
Thanks.